Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Allen. Our guest this hour, we have two. During the latter part of our show, Dr. Neil Furman will be joining us. We're going to be talking about what it is to be a doctor of osteopath, and also psoriasis. And then we're going to start this time with a guy who I have heard about for years. He's the founder of the worldwide treatment center, the Valley Thyroid Institute. And his name is Dr. Gil Kajiki. Doctor, welcome to Late Night Health.
Thank you, Mark.
You know, going back in my own personal life, as I was reading about this, I remembered somebody told me my mother had a thyroid issue. Have no idea what it was. Have no idea if it lasted all of her life. This is, well, we're going back 40 years at least. When I heard this, I was in elementary school. Yeah, elementary school. What are there a variety of thyroid issues that people just don't know that they have?
I think more than anything, the thyroid disorder, it's the great mimicker. It's this, conglomerate of different symptoms: fatigue, hair loss, weight gain, heart palpitations, insomnia, dry skin. So you have all these different symptoms, and it's very difficult to say, oh, it's thyroid. And it's usually the last thing that people discover that they have a thyroid problem.
Is it the last thing that doctors say, ooh, we've done all these tests, we just discovered you have some thyroid issues?
Yeah, and it's what you're saying is they've done all these tests and then they discover it's thyroid issue.
Allopathic docs don't always understand that prevention is better than the cure.
Absolutely.
How does your philosophy work in the treatment of Hashimoto's disease and some other diseases that affect the thyroid?
Well, I believe the opposite, that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. However, people don't see me first. They see me last. They see me after their endocrinologist or their GPs or their gynecologists have told them, hey, we can't find anything wrong, all your tests are normal. Then they seek me out on the internet. But I don't see people first. So it's too late for me to prevent it because they've already got this problem that I have to find the root cause of instead of just treating the symptoms like allopathic medicine does.
So let's do something. Before we talk about treatment, let's talk about prevention. Healthy guy, he's in his 40s, maybe be a radio guy. He wants to take care of his thyroid. All right, 50s. I saw the look from Daryl. And wants to take care of his thyroid. Is there something that everybody should be doing to consciously prevent thyroid disease?
Sure. And if we're talking about just thyroid, I think the first thing and most consistent thing people should do is get tested regularly. Get your blood test, but don't just get the 3 thyroid tests that allopathic medicine typically gives. Get all 11 tests done semi-consistently so you could really see if there's a thyroid problem. But you can't do it if you're just getting the 3 tests that traditional medicine gives.
And what do these tests show?
Oh, they'll show if you have a high-functioning thyroid or a low-functioning thyroid, or if you have an autoimmune disease that's attacking your thyroid, or if you have a thyroid binding globulin problem, which is like a little taxi cab for the thyroid hormone, or if you have an overconversion or an underconversion of the active thyroid to the inactive thyroid. But you can't get all that information if you only do the 3 tests.
And when you get these tests, are they easily, let's say you're healthy, are there supplements or exercise that one should do to prevent thyroid issues from developing?
Sure. But you got to get the tests, you got to read them right, and you have to do the right amount of tests, and you have to get the right media. So in my wife's case, for example, we completely reversed all her symptoms of Hashimoto's thyroiditis. And now we're in the position where we manage her very carefully. We do test consistently to prevent future thyroid or autoimmune problems.
You actually got involved in specializing in thyroid disease because of your wife's problems.
Right. Because allopathic medicine had no answer for her other than medication, radiation, and surgery.
And what about the symptoms that your wife was experiencing?
Oh, well, it started out with Epstein-Barr. So there was a lot of fatigue, a lot of rundown feeling, couldn't sleep right, but then those gradually morphed into digestive disorders, bloating with meals, starting to lose her hair, depression, heart palpitations, insomnia, alternating constipation, diarrhea.
Wait, all of this stuff sounds like living in the 21st century to me.
Yes, except it got to the point where it affected her daily life, and that's when people start paying attention to it.
Your wife was taking B12 shots just to be functional?
Yes, and it was even subpar functional. That was the doctor's answer is, well, for your fatigue, we're just going to give you B12 shots. Well, that was the Epstein-Barr wearing her down, but at the time, I didn't know any better. I was a chiropractor treating neck pain and back pain, and so these B12 shots, they were barely keeping her functional, but they certainly weren't resolving the condition.
Do you find that as a DC, you obviously spent years, I think it's a 6-year course, studying the body, but you don't only study the bones, you study inside as well.
Yeah, we do. We have an education on the inside, but when I got out of school, I specialized in strictly musculoskeletal, neck pain, back pain, headaches, like most chiropractors do. And through my wife's situation and condition, it kind of forced me to start studying functional medicine and start studying nutrition and herbal supplementation, vitamin, mineral, enzyme deficiencies, and realize that was just as important as musculoskeletal health.
What is Hashimoto's disease? It's something that we've heard about. It's been around for a while. It was discovered how many years ago, and what are the symptoms?
Probably 50 years ago by a doctor named Hashimoto. That's how things are generally named. But it's an autoimmune condition, which means your own immune system is attacking and destroying your own thyroid gland. I mean, kind of like a flesh-eating bacteria. Something went wrong in the genetic makeup of your immune system, and now it thinks your immune system is an enemy, and your own immune system attacks your own thyroid gland.
Is that something that's becoming more and more common?
It's extremely common. About 7 out of 10 cases of low thyroid have this autoimmune component.
That's what my mother had, low thyroid.
Yeah, and this is where allopathic medicine is going wrong, because they are treating the thyroid gland with thyroid medication when it's really an immune system problem more than it is a thyroid problem.
Is it something that's easily corrected?
No, very difficult. It's very difficult to correct because there are so many moving parts in getting this immune system under control. There are body dysfunctions that I call triggers. And triggers are body dysfunctions that agitate that immune system and cause that immune system to attack the thyroid. But they are also body dysfunctions that very closely mimic a thyroid problem, but it isn't a thyroid problem.
So it mimics the problem,
right?
And the only way to find the issue itself would be to do the testing that we've already discussed.
Right, except the allopathic medicine, especially if you go to an endocrinologist, they're hyper-focused and tunnel vision on that thyroid problem, when it may in fact be an autoimmune problem, plus a thyroid problem, plus these triggers. And these triggers, I've found 9 very common triggers, which are anemia, blood sugar instability, adrenal gland dysfunction, hormone imbalance, inflammation, gastrointestinal disorders, food sensitivity, hidden infections, and chemical sensitivity. So if you look at all those triggers, they very closely mimic what a thyroid problem is.
But one of the triggers you mentioned is inflammation, and my understanding is that inflammation, especially in the alternative health field, is considered to be the cause of almost all illness.
Exactly. It's the seed to every disease out there. And you can get inflammation from multiple places. You can get it from hypoglycemia. You can get it from insulin resistance. You can get it from infection. You can get it from, psychological stresses. You can get it from anemias. So everything ultimately does cause inflammation.
Well, every week here on the show, we decide what disease I have of the week. This may be one. I'm not sure. It's serious. It can be life-threatening, is my understanding as well.
Sure. Well, it controls all your metabolism in your whole body.
And so that would be, you could gain weight there too. All right, we're going to take some time out. Our guest is Dr. Gil Kajiki. He is the founder of the worldwide treatment center, the Valley Thyroid Institute. And by the way, no matter where you are in the world, if you have Skype, you can talk to the doctor. I'm Mark Allen. Late Night Health continues. You can download us now on iTunes. Go to iTunes, search for Late Night Health, download us, and then share us with your friends. More coming up. Don't go away as Late Night Health continues.